Do you think that feminism has a lot to do with that?
Yeah, I feminism isn't for black women. Feminism was created for middle class white women because because so all the things that feminism say men have an advantage in only apply to only apply to white men for everybody else. And what I mean is this, like, um, so like, let's say for example, as let's say like the wage gap, or that men earn higher than women,
Yeah.
right? If you're a white woman, yeah, you're gonna say that to your white male counterpart, right? But as a black man, as a white woman, the average, you earn more than me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So the things you say I have an advantage of because I'm a man are
Doesn't
not true.
apply to me. Yeah.
Actually, 90% of the things you say as a as a white woman saying that men have advantage of, you as a white woman have an advantage over me as a black man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Public
yeah,
perception, preferation and favoritism, how much you earn.
yeah.
So, and what I think is, I think feminism, because black women have favored or gone towards feminism, that has held them back even more because feminism doesn't actually apply to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't. That's my thoughts, anyway.
Do you know what? I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I feel like a lot of black women have actually tried to tap into that and have actually tried to take on that feminist mindset. And like you said, like, it doesn't favor you either way, because still proportionately we still have the most single motherhood out of all the other
Yeah.
races. It's like we're still gonna be at the bottom of the barrel, like, regardless of whether you try and stand and be like, I'm a strong black woman, or I can do this all by myself, I don't need a man, and all of these things. Like, that is all what is fed into into us. And by the way, I think that it is a problem, what you said earlier, that about a woman having that mentality that I can just raise a child on my own and I don't need a man. I think it's toxic, and I think it's a problem to society. Like, I don't think that just because something becomes a social norm, I have to accept that. Like,
I
that
agree.
does not, that for me, that 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 does not make anything better. It doesn't make anything better for that child that's going to grow up without a dad. Like, I feel like young girls need dads in their lives. They're like, that is going to be their first lover. That is going to be their first representation of what a man should be. And
Absolutely.
if you take that away, you can't do that as a woman. You can't, as much as you try to, you won't be able to fulfill that role, like,
Like,
fully.
this isn't disrespect. I think this is just a reality. Only fathers can raise men,
Yeah.
and only mothers can raise women.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we were saying earlier. If I become a father, I will never know what it's like to live as a woman.
Yeah.
How can I raise my daughter to be a woman?
Yeah.
I can't do it the same way her mother will be able to.
Yeah.
And it's the same way for sons.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because, and I'll give you this example, that there are a lot of, so a boy who's raised in a single parent, will be single mother usually 90% of
Yeah.
the time, household. So one thing, look, men and women, we have equal rights, but there are things that are different about us.
Yeah.
And because there are things that are different, there are different societal rules. And what I mean is this. How many times do we see on TV now where if a woman gets upset, angry, or emotional, she slaps the guy? And we're like, oh, he just got slapped. Like, woo.
I know.
Right. Now, if that
Switch it around.
if you switch it around, yo, the police are called.
Yep.
The guy's an abuser.
Yep.
Everything like that. Now, I personally believe there's no excuse to put your hands on someone. However, as a man, I recognize that I need to apply a different standard to myself than women do because I'm a man,
Yeah.
right? Now, if you have a young boy who's raised where that's not taught to him. Because as women, let's just being honest, women, you don't have to think about that because you're not guys.
Yeah.
There's not as much of a repercussion for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're a young boy and you see that, when mom's emotional, it's okay to put your hands on people. When he grows up, what's he going to do?
He's gonna do that, yeah.
He's going to do that, right? Because he's almost raised to look at the world through a female lens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's definitely playing a part. I love that we've gone on a tangent, but I do want to bring it back.
Yeah. And I do want to say
Go on.
that my statement does not discredit any women who's had to raise
Absolutely
kids
not.
by themselves. Like, I know people can be sensitive out here on these streets,
Yeah.
on these social media streets. So I want to clarify that, but it's just my opinion. Okay, like, I just don't feel like I'm not a feminist. I don't want to get paid the same as a man. To be honest, I don't want to do the same job as a man. Like, I don't have the same strength as a man.
Yeah.
So I don't care about all of that stuff. But yeah, it's just my opinion. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Put that disclaimer in.
Yeah.
And you know, I say, I'm going to second that. I mean, you know, like, I've been in a single mother household for the majority of my life. My father is very much in my life.
Yeah.
Which I'm very thankful for, of course. But yeah, I was raised. I would come under the statistic of a single parent household.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I want to go and I want to touch again on quote unquote being submissive, right? Because I think when a lot of women, especially black women, when they hear the word submissive, they think, oh, I'm his slave. Like, I live
for
to
sure.
serve him. And I don't. And I think I want to give one aspect, and you know, a black female friend who I've helped kind of coach to as well. In that you could still make the same point, but there's a way to say it.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, and one thing she was saying to me, like, I remember she was telling me about the situation with the guy, and she was like, this is what I say, whatever. I'm like, look, you can make a point, but the way you're trying to say it is very hostile.
Yeah.
And the example I give is this. This isn't an example, so it's okay. But the example I give is this. It's like, okay, let's say you're with a guy in bed, right? And maybe you haven't known each other that long.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have sex, but he keeps trying it with you.
Yeah.
Right? And you're in bed, he keeps trying it, whatever, right? And you say, oh, no, I'm not really fit, you know. Like, you're like, I don't really do it. And then, you know, a woman might go, yo, I told you I don't want to do it. Like, can you relax? If you keep doing this, I'm going to kick you the F out.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you've made your point.
Yeah.
Right? You've made your point. You don't know him that well. You don't want to do it, but you've made your point. Okay? But that was very hostile. Very aggressive. Whereas you could say this. Look, I'm as tempted to do this as much as you are. But I like to get to know someone before I start connecting with them in this way. And I can't wait to get to know you, because then we can start having real fun together.
Yeah.
You've made the point. You've set your standard. You set your boundary. But what you've done is you've not only incentivized him to invest in you more and wait for you.
Yeah.
But now he's excited to get to know you because that's what he wants.
Yeah.
In one scenario, they keep dating, eventually happens. In another scenario, the guy goes, yeah, man, this was crazy.
This is long,
Do you know what I mean? And that C word, crazy, boys. Hey, now if you want to get under someone's skin, just call them crazy. So I think I was talking to someone called Chengi. She's become like a mentor of mine. Chengi's wild. She's like a dating coach for women. And one thing that she does with her clients is how to get back in touch with that feminine side. And one thing she said, right, which is so true, is that men are strong, but women are powerful, because it is women who can influence the strong man. Because as men, we are hardwired to want to serve women. Straight up. Yo, there have been wars started because of women. Wars because of women. 2 men and their armies sacrificing their lives for the love of a woman. Because women are powerful. Because naturally that's why you know, if a guy, because as guys we are hardwired to want to protect the women we care about and the women we love, right? That's why it's men who get drafted for the war, not women. That's why when the Titanic went down, it was women and children first. You know, the example I give is, if it's raining outside or whatever, and if we're on a date, you know, I take my jacket and I put it around you. I sacrifice myself to get wet to keep you dry. We're hardwired to do that. That's why if a guy walks into like a bar or something, he's like, yo guys, can you help me? There's something going on. Someone's after me or whatever. I'm gonna be like, oh, who's this guy? He's crazy. Kick him out. If a woman does that, all the guys go, hey, you okay? What's wrong? Like, who's trying to get you? What's going on? We're hardwired to want to protect and serve our women. So, and that comes from a woman being in her feminine,
Yeah.
right? Not squaring up to the man, right? But being like one thing Chengi said, and girls, if you're in a relationship, you can take this. I hope my girlfriend doesn't use this against me. Is if you're talking to a guy, let's say you had a dispute,
Yeah.
if you say I think, that's very masculine, and man goes into the logical, right? And you start to compete on a masculine level. If you say, oh, I feel this way, immediately a guy goes, she feels this way, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
I want to protect her. And I think in the West, I think our black women they've not been taught that. And I don't say taught, but I think they don't realize the value in that, especially for men. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What do you think?
But you know, like what you've literally just said, I feel like proves my point when I was saying that black women don't feel as protected from black men for the simple fact that they perpetuate this masculine energy,
Yeah.
and that is like men don't like that. Like they don't like that, and
You might make a
because
great CEO partner,
yeah,
but not a life partner.
and because that's the stereotype with black women, it's almost like if a black woman is coming across a certain way, and there's so many reasons why black women feel like they have to be strong for themselves and protect.
Course, yeah.
And with white women, they have that more feminine energy because they've not had to have a lot of the struggles that black women have had,
Not been
right?
tested, yeah.
And so that's why a lot of black women feel like they don't have that protection from black men, you know? Maybe because black men feel like, well, you come across as you're strong enough, like, so you can go and protect yourself then. Or for white women, they're like, but look how gentle she looks, or look how sweet her voice is, you know? So it's like, so when it comes to dating, it's almost like black women feel like, well, it's harder to be
Yes.
picked. You know, it's harder. We have to work harder. Like now, I have to tone it down because I might come across as too much.
Yeah. And I want to make this point that I don't, because sometimes we hear, oh, if you're a strong woman, you have to weaken yourself for a man, and I don't like that, and I think that's wrong. I think it's not about weakening yourself, but it's about placing your strength in areas that he values. Because I'm gonna say it's unbiased, but my grandma, who's been with my granddad for 50, 60 years, she's a strong woman.
Yeah.
Because when he was away, she held the house down. You know,
Yeah.
she knows how to listen. Women run the household.
Yeah, for sure.
Like men provide the house, but women provide the home.
Yeah.
And there is huge strength in that. That's incredibly valuable. So, and I completely agree in the fact that white women have not had to protect themselves from media or the world in the same way black women have. So I completely empathize and I understand why a black woman feels like she has to wear a shield. So what would you say to our black sisters out there? What do you think could be the first thing they could do to kind of help realize that to let the shield down?
Yeah.
Especially around men that they want, because men, we want to protect the woman we care about.
I think the first point that I would make to that response is something you said earlier about the different cultures, like, you know, what you've experienced being with somebody who is from back home to here. Is I feel like here there has been a massive letdown within the black culture, within the home, you know. And I think that has a massive impact on how we see relationships and how we view life. Whereas back home, you are surrounded by a village. You know, that's where that saying comes from. You know, you've got your aunties, your grandmas, your neighbours, women surround young girls. But you don't have that culture here. That's why women who have kids, for example, they struggle a lot more, because back home you can leave your kid with whoever, the neighbor. It becomes a family, you know. So you have that, so you can keep building yourself. But here, you're almost like you're kind of left to the government to look after you, but they don't care about you like that. You know, you rely on the benefits, you rely on all of that stuff, but that is not built for us to progress.
Exactly.
And so for me, I feel like we as black women have to, first of all, kind of lift that burden off of our shoulder and understand that it's a part of what is being put in us. Like, it's not our fault, kind of thing. Like, it's not your fault as a black woman. First of all, it's not something
Yes.
that you should carry on.
Yes.
It's something that you have to identify, where has that come from.
Yes.
Because before you can move forward and actually treat something, you need to diagnose it. You need to know what is the root of that issue.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at how women are back home, they're very respectful. Young girls, you know, they will wake up in the morning, they know what to do. It's not about being a slave, it's about raising the home, like you said.
Yep.
And that mentality, unfortunately, has been stripped off in this westernized world because of that feminist agenda.
Yes.
And that agenda has been brought to us to bring that destruction, you know, of the house. But who does it affect most? The black community, right?
Absolutely.
And that's why I loved what you said earlier about that feminist community doesn't benefit us black people.
No.
So when it comes to relationship and about being chosen for by black men, because I think ideally, would we want to be in our own community? Would we want to date our own black brothers, and would black men want to date black women? I think so.
Yeah, of course they do.
You know, but I think, okay, taking away the whole idea of love, whatever, but I think that black people do want to be together, right?
Yeah.
But there's obviously a breakdown. There's an issue somewhere.
Yes.
And I think part of the issue is with women. I feel like women are the ones that are driving that issue by being aggressive, by being very strong, by, it looks like, to me, it looks like I'm trying to protect myself, but to the outside world, it looks like I'm being aggressive.
Yes.
And it isn't. And it's about black men understanding where that pain is coming from.
Yes.
And actually having that communication that we've all played a part in it.
Yes, we have. Yeah, absolutely.
Before we can even move forward, because a lot of women do feel hurt by black men.
Yeah.
And I don't think if women felt like more protected by black men, I don't think they would have such a high issue with black men dating a white woman. I don't, because I'll feel like, do you know what? I don't feel like I have to compete with somebody who is more feminine or more softer.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, white women are looking more like black women.
Yeah.
They are.
Yo.
So do you get what I mean? So it's
Get
like,
them Scots in.
yeah. So to me, it's like, you know, when this whole melanin power came in, everybody now wants to talk about how much melanin they have. You know,
Yeah.
women. It's like black men a lot of the time criticize women for wearing weaves or whatever. Look, I'm somebody, I love wearing my makeup, I love wearing my wigs, my weave, whatever, but I don't have a problem. I can wear my braids, I can wear my natural hair, I don't care. Right? But it's almost like everything a black woman will do, she'll get criticized. Oh, you wearing weave because it's self-hate, you know, you don't like your natural hair. Nobody criticizes a white woman for getting plump lips. Nobody criticizes a white woman for injecting her bum. Like, nobody does that, but all the critics comes on a black woman. Why? Do you get what I mean? And a lot of the time it does come from black men. And so white women now feel like they can disrespect black women because black men are giving them that room to do that.